Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
Happy birthday from my lover to you. Happy birthday from the Daily Grind crew. Happy birthday, Jaylen. I see you in the comments. Birthday shout out. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. It is Wednesday and hump day. Remember that commercial? I got Uncle Buck with me after he has been saving. You've been a Power Ranger. You've been going Power Ranger for like a week, and I'm glad you're back, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. It's great to be back in the normal swing of things. Listen, I'd be lying if it's not a little bit of an adrenaline rush when you're faced with that sort of adversity. But listen, it's job security. It's at the end of the day, you feel good because people depend on you. But at the same time, working about 40 hours in 3 days or 2.5 days is rough. So,
I was like, I didn't even know that they could fit that many hours in a day, dude.
Yeah, the math doesn't check out, does it? So
no, it doesn't.
I haven't fully recovered yet.
Oh, that's good. Well, man, I'm glad you're back. I know that I'm ready to talk hoops with you. So let's just jump right into it. The Grizzlies won last night, and they handled business. They handled their business in a game against the Hornets, 124-100. I don't know.
I mean, it's what you wanted. I mean, let's be real. Was it like a snooze fest? Yes. Was it like, I mean, the thing we'll remember the most is unfortunate. But what you wanted for last night's game was just a big win that you could rest guys in the fourth quarter. You've got a huge back-to-back coming up starting tomorrow night. And just get out of there with as little stress as possible. And Edie was great. The team played great. Charlotte is an abomination. You would think that we could have turned the page and not really talk about it much today, but unfortunately, what happened? Jaylen Wells' injury just really made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, let's jump there, and then we'll jump back to the good things of the game, because the one thing that I'm going to remember out of this was Jaylen Wells took a brutal fall. I mean, it was bad at the end to close the first half out. Excuse me. I think you texted our group. It was like, man, make my stomach hurt. It just looked bad. The angle looked bad. Broke his wrist. We find out later he is okay. He was stretchered off the court, which you never, ever want to see. It's like the most horrifying thing you can see in a sports game, sports ball. But he broke his wrist, had a lot of swelling in the face area. He did Instagram live from the hospital bed and just said, "Go Grizzlies," which is awesome. That just like makes me love that kid even more. But he is just a kid. And so I'm very, very glad that he is okay. But, big picture stuff, he's likely out for the year, I imagine.
Right.
Unless we make a finals
Unless
appearance.
you make a deep run. Run. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening. So he's likely out for the season, which just sucks. It just sucks. He was having an all-rookie type season. He was having a Rookie of the Year campaign for a while there, and it ends with a broke wrist.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. It was scary in the moment because I was watching at the house, and there's just like, at my house at any time, there's just at least 2.5 kids just running, and it's fun. But I was like, hey, y'all need to be quiet. Like, y'all got to go somewhere else. I got to lock into this because I saw it happen, and you could just tell by the reaction. It's something you watch while growing up watching football. Like,
yes,
injuries are much more prevalent in football, and when you see somebody go down, when it's serious based on the reaction of the people around them that saw it.
Yes.
And immediately it was like, oh no, this doesn't look good. He's not moving. And he just immediately was covered up by training staff and players and it was just like, at that point, everybody's just quiet and waiting. And it was eerily quiet. Wayno said in our group chat, the silence is deafening. And that was an opposing arena that it's like, it was awful.
And we heard it from our
came
TV.
down on his head.
Yeah.
him getting stretchered off, being having his head strapped down and his arms strapped down, it was like immediately I was worried about like a neck injury.
Yep.
You could kind of see his arms moving, which again is something you look for in football injuries. I never really thought about it in basketball injuries, but yeah, you saw his arms moving, and you know, I told my wife last night, I was like, he broke his wrist. That sucks. And she was like, does it? Because it looked much worse. And I was
Best
like,
case scenario. I mean,
you're right. And it is an absolute bummer for Jaylen because he was having an amazing rookie season. And he's likely done for the year. And it stinks for the Grizzlies because it's like you kind of start feeling like you got a little bit of your swagger back.
Yeah.
And that the young, energetic guy who has been guarding the best player on the team, every team you played all year, just went out unnecessarily.
And that's the problem. It's like, it was just, and I don't think this was not a Draymond Green purposeful style. This was an accident. This kid immediately went over. He was the first person to Jaylen. I think this was just a young kid playing for, part of my language, a shitty team that doesn't know, just not thinking. And it's just,
it looked like he was trying to keep from getting dunked on. You know how they kind of just like duck out of the way when the guy goes up for and he just caught the off leg. And it is unfortunate. And I don't think it was on purpose. It could have been avoided, but that doesn't make it purposeful.
Well said. Well said. I think that's incredibly well said. If an injury is going to happen, I'm not saying, at least it was in this game, a game where we had the horses, we had the opportunity to see what we could do, and where it wasn't, like it wasn't against the Timberwolves who were bound to pounce on you when this happens. Like we were still able to take care of business, which is good.
You were able to take some time and not, if I'm sure some guys, their mentals were a little jacked up for a little while.
Yeah.
And if you are playing a team like the T-Wolves or the Nuggets, as our next back-to-back are, they could really capitalize on that. The Hornets were not even trying to capitalize on that.
No. Which let's have you seen it? That team looked bad. They just looked really, really, really bad.
I mean, you're talking about the only person I saw out there that was a legitimate NBA player was Miles Bridges. And Miles Bridges is, I don't want to praise him by any means, but on a team that a franchise who consistently loses superstars to injury in order to tank, he's always playing. So he's like, it's like he's the perfect good player that can't elevate a team, I guess. Like he's like the upper crust of like a role player. He's not going to affect winning we're still going to lose. But he can play. LaMelo, you're not even playing. Nope, you'll make us win.
This guy can play.
You can play.
It's so good. I don't know. We need to think of a word for that.
KJ Simpson, Musa Diabate. Just a bunch of nobodies.
Yep. And and it should be noted, they won by 24. It was like a 24-point lead the entire game. Like they jumped out to a 24-point lead and stuck with it the entire game.
They had a game. They wanted to put them to bed early, and they did. And they nursed it. They could have beat them by 80 if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could. Just a few things I want to talk about on this game. Zach Edey continued to have continues to play well. 17 points, 19 rebounds. He wanted to stay in to get a 20-point rebound. You could tell he was upset. I think he had 20 and they made one of the rebounds a steal there at the end, whatever. He just is playing.
How do you get those confused?
I don't know. I heard it on the broadcast though. They were like, they gave him a steal. Pete and Brevin were like, why? He came. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know how those things look remotely similar.
It didn't on the TV. Pete and Brevin were just as confused. I think they were just trying to rob him of his 20-point rebound game.
Some of the shorter people, like shorter players, will have higher block totals than you think because if you strip it going up, they'll call that a block sometimes.
So funny.
And so, I don't know how you get a steal and a rebound mixed up, but
especially when you're 7-4. But we digress. We're not refs.
I guess it was a defensive rebound that he
It was.
took
It was
away from the defender.
It was a
I'm
defensive
putting
rebound.
it together now. I'm a little slow at the moment.
Hey, 40 hours and 1.5 days, something like that. Where you're getting there. The last thing that I just think is worth mentioning about this game, and it's unfortunate because it's just who is going to take Jaylen Wells' minutes? Who's going to step into that role with him out? I think we are in a very we're lucky that we have a guy who, if he is healthy and if he's able to play like he was, should be able to step in and fill that void. I'm talking about Vince Williams Jr., which last night was probably the best game he's had in a hot minute. In 17 minutes, he had 8 points, 3 boards, 1 assist. He was 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 6 from the field. He was a +8. If he's able to turn back into the Vince that we saw last year, healthy, a menace on defense, we might be okay, because he has not been playing in these last couple games. He hasn't been seeing minutes. And so it's not like our rotation. A lot of people played last night, but that's because we were up by 20. Right. And thank God a lot of people played last night so we could get some rest out of our guys. Right. But Vince, we should be, knock on wood, we are in better shape than some for this to have happened to us now, I would say.
Well, listen, I was beating the drum. When he started the season injured, he got injured in training camp, I think. And then when he come back, he played, 2 games before a gruesome ankle turn. And he missed a lot more time. And then when he came back, I was always the guy that was like, Vince needs to start. I was sacrificing Jaylen for Vince while Jaylen was healthy and Vince wasn't. Like, when it comes back, it needs to be Vince's team. What happened is Jaylen just continued to play well when you expected him to kind of hit a wall. Mm-hmm. And Vince just came back really bad. I mean, there's no way around it. Attribute it to, conditioning, whatever you want to be. Contribute it to, like, not knowing what your role is. I don't care what it is. He just wasn't good.
Yeah.
It seems like he's put it together, but he becomes extremely important. And I'll say this, I've been consistent about saying that you will win or lose games based on your big three, not Jaylen Wells and not Zach Edey or anybody else. It's going to be one on the backs of Ja, Jaren, and Dez. Mm-hmm. And if you get Ja Morant to continue what he's doing right now, then it frees up a lot of pressure that is on offensive pressure that's on guys like Vince Williams. Like, you're talking about no expectations on offense. You have none. If Ja Morant continues to play like this and Jaren and Dez continue to play like this, you just go out there and your only role, think Tony Allen here, your only role is to just mess with whoever is playing, whoever you're defending that night. And don't turn the ball over. Don't shoot us out of games. And just be an absolute menace. And he's got that. On his worst days, he can be that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Like, guess what? He's also the kind of player, if a shot's not falling, he's not going to keep shooting. He knows that if it's not falling, he's like, cool, I'm going to affect this game elsewhere. Which is what we're going to need. It's what we're going to need in these final games. Especially because the Wild West is just that, man. It's crazy out there. Like, and we play this team. For those of you who didn't see this yesterday, the Denver Nuggets fired Mike. They saw the Grizzlies fire their head coach a week before, and they said, "Hold my keg." And then they fired Mike Malone and they fired Calvin Booth.
This is they don't drink beer. They
hold my blunt. Okay, and they just passed it off. Passing the blunt. This is crazy, man.
They are in their post Malone era.
Yeah. Yes, they are in their post Malone era. So the difference between what I would say Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins, Mike Malone won a title.
Oh, yeah, mate.
It's just crazy. Wow. It's crazy.
This broke live on the 2 Buck Sports Show yesterday.
Yeah.
Me and Kenny were just sitting here talking about something that doesn't matter. And it was like, oh crap. The Nuggets fired Michael Malone, NBA champion coach Michael Malone, with 4 games left in the season. Everybody thought the Grizzlies were crazy. And, of course, everybody's always going to think the Grizzlies are crazy, even if a team that won an NBA championship 2 years ago do the exact same thing in a worse situation. The Grizzlies will still somehow look worse for doing this. Like, it's asinine.
Yep.
But, listen, I don't know what to make of it. You know, I did see this tweet, and this is probably the most damning thing I've seen. Let me pull up my bookmarks real quick because there was 2 tweets back to back.
Yes.
That almost make it seem I read them back to back. Anyways. All right. Nikola Jokic in April. So today is April the 9th. 45 points a game, 12.3 rebounds, 10.7 assists, 2 steals, shooting 62% from the field, 45% from 3. No wins.
Oh.
Yeah, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Hold on a second. I thought I was going to sneeze. It went away.
I saw it. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I guess, but this is like an ownership decision, obviously. Stan Kroenke's kid came in. Apparently, he gave the Nuggets to his kid. So if I wish I was that rich. All right,
Nepo,
first off,
baby. Nepo,
like
baby.
if I was that rich, like my son would own a sports franchise. Absolutely. They've got like 8 of them.
It's wild.
Yeah. But obviously the ownership came in and was like, okay, well, Coach GM, you're both fired. And GM probably should have been fired too, because listen, they've lost a really good role player after every single season, and they've not replaced him with anything. And Michael Malone, we can talk about, you know, I think a lot of people want him for the Grizzlies, but he's a head case.
He's interesting.
So he's one of those players. Like, I want a vet team with a veteran coach, and so it seems like he is like would be really good for the Grizzlies. I do kind of think that there's a case to be made. But he got fired because there's like young guys that they believe in that he was just not playing. He wasn't gonna play them. I'm gonna play the vets. You know, the old Lionel Hollins thing. It's like, I'm not playing any rookies. You know, I'm not playing any young folks.
Can you imagine?
And he also
him
apparently hates the grit. You know, he had a comment that resurfaced from like 5 years ago where he took a shot at Memphis. So like he'll never work. He'd never work here.
No, man. And it's like you want to talk about a guy that's hesitant to lean on your Utes. Can you imagine him playing 2 rookies in the starting lineup with Zach Edey and Jaylen Wells? He would have been like he'd be pulling his hair out. I don't know. It seemed that it was pretty well documented that Calvin Booth and Michael Malone had a tenuous relationship, I guess, to say the least. It seems like they were very rarely in the same room together from what reports have been. And it just seems like one of them was pissed that he had to play the young guys. The other one wanted to rely on youth because of the apron, and it just never worked. And now they're both out.
I think it's totally different reasons for firing your coach this late in the season. For the Grizzlies, it was about mojo. And I'm sure there's some mojo that they're hoping to resurrect in Denver. But like they saw the Grizzlies, the style of plays changed a lot. Your star player starts playing again magically when the head coach gets fired. And maybe they're trying to get Jamal Murray back. You know, Jamal Murray's missed a lot of time recently. If Jamal Murray plays in their next game,
if Jamal Murray plays against us on Friday after Mike Malone just spent a really long presser talking about how Jamal's not right, he might miss the playoffs.
Covering for him.
It's just gonna be if he's playing, it's gonna be like raggy. It's gonna be interesting.
That, by the way, I went on a heater on John Morant after he played the first day after Taylor Jenkins got fired, implying that was the reason that he wasn't playing, and I hated it. I'll do the same thing for Jamal Murray, but I just don't care that much about the Nuggets, so it'll be a much shorter conversation.
Yeah. Nuggets. You know what I do care? I would like for What? What was that? Huh? Oh, this is in. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's like an old newspaper printing. The standings report. Let's just in. Oh my God, these are not fun to look at. That's
a breaking news thing.
Oh my God, is that in your room?
Yeah, I got my little ring light. I got all kinds of stuff. When I
See,
get mad,
oh my God,
when I feel sad.
Oh, this is the best thing in the world. We just do a whole show doing this. We're reporting into the standings. Okay, so these standings be wild, dude. So last night when I went,
we were up to 5.
When I went to bed last night, when I went to bed last night after our game, the Clippers were 7 and now they're 4. So if the season ended today, OKC would be 1, Houston would be 2. Lakers would be 3. I think that's probably where we're going to end up with those 3 as the 1, 2, 3. And then, Jesus, man, we got Clippers at 4, Denver at 5, Golden State at 6, Grizzlies at 7, Minnesota at 8. Minnesota losing last night hurts them. The Bucks did us a favor and came back. Like God, they whooped that butt in the last quarter of that. But you've got the Grizzlies, the Warriors. The Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Clippers, and Denver all with the exact same record.
It's wild.
That's crazy. And we play Denver on Friday.
Yeah.
This is just stressful.
So the way that I see this, it was weird because when I went to bed last night, because the Clippers had the late game, the Grizzlies were, I believe, the 5 seed, and the Clippers were the 7. Well, then they jumped, obviously, because they beat
San Antonio. Is that who they had?
San Antonio. That's right. So we've got us another 4-way tie here from 4 to 7, and the T-Wolves have fallen out. The Nuggets have dropped down to the tie, and we've kicked Minnesota off the island for the time being.
It's so confusing, and I hate it.
And this just goes to show you, you never would have expected it to be this way. But not beating good Western Conference teams allows you to be at the bottom half of the bottom spot of any tie-breaking scenario that you can enter into. That's what makes this back-to-back of such extreme importance.
Yes, which shout out Daniel.
If the Grizz beat the T-Wolves, okay, well that's nice. I mean, at least you've got a home game in the play-in if you fall that far.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't want to be in the play-in.
I have a hard time thinking. You look, obviously, the Grizzlies have a tough end of the season, because you've got left the T-Wolves at home on they pushed to 8:30 on it being the first half of a back-to-back. You're going to have to get on a plane and go to Denver to Elevation to play a late game the next time. It's brutal schedule.
It's rough.
And you feel like you've got to have both. I feel like the only way you can dodge the play-in is to win both of those and then come back home and play Dallas to end it. It's a brutal end of the schedule, but the path is there. For a long time, I didn't think the path was there because you haven't beat a good team in a long time, and you still feel like, with the exception of Detroit, like who had just clinched the night before, like you haven't beaten a good team yet. So you're asking the Grizzlies to do something they haven't been doing well all season, but it's right in front of you, and you're arguably playing your best basketball. So if you go and win against Minnesota tomorrow night, then like Daniel said, you will firmly plant Minnesota behind you, and you can firmly plant Denver behind you if you go win the second half of the back-to-back in Denver.
Yeah, and it's going to be this Friday. This back-to-back is huge, man, because I could be mistaken, but I think Phoenix is. You sent us this. Phoenix is out, so it's Sacramento and it's Dallas for those last two. They're the 9 and the 10. I think that is
right. Yeah, they cannot move up and they cannot move down.
So maybe you pencil that Dallas game in as if they're not playing their guys because they can't move up or down. Maybe that's a win. You've got to win this back-to-back.
The only thing they can be playing for is home court advantage in that
first
playoff play-in game. They're a game behind the Kings right now for that. And let's see who the Kings play the Nuggets tonight. This is the first post Malone era Nuggets game. It's tonight against the Kings. So if you want to watch late night basketball, that'll be an interesting one to watch because you'll get to see what they look like, see if they come out with a little bit more energy, and see if what's his name plays, Jamal Murray.
Yeah, but that's too late for me. So tonight, I guess we're Kings fans, and I guess we're Rockets fans because the Rockets play the Clippers.
Yeah, Rockets play the Clippers. We do not play the Clippers anymore, and so you would like to. You've got to have the advantage. You've got to be up by one game against any of these teams because you do not own the tiebreaker on anything.
Yep.
And the Rockets, good Lord, they are just beating the brakes off people, humiliating teams right now.
It's wild. I did not. I
wanted to see the Rockets in the playoffs.
I did too.
I was on that side where I was like, let's go get Houston in a Western Conference in which the middle and lower tier is just like struggling to make it to the playoffs. Houston and the Golden State are just dominating,
beating the brakes off people, man. Beating the brakes off people.
Houston in particular. Good Lord.
I think it was you and me, man. I think less than a month ago we were like, man, Houston's gonna fall off a cliff. I want to see Houston.
Yeah, I just was betting on playing against the youth. But in April, they have a 38-point win against the Jazz. They have a 14-point win against the Thunder. They have a 10-point win against the Warriors. That's in April. I kept going because I kept seeing more games. Because I haven't been playing yet. So I left you guys on the cliffhanger there. But yeah, they're just dominating. It's great.
Which they play Denver too. Like, I mean, there's a lot of these teams playing each other here to close the year out. It's going to be interesting, and we will be checking in every day. I think the finger gun series, the grenade.
Do we want to talk about the latest? I think it's great.
I think it's great too,
because it's not a realistic weapon. Like, he's not going to go throw grenades in the park.
No,
you don't have a previous track record with grenades.
Grenades.
Also put the pressure on Adam Silver's like, okay, now I brought a bigger gun.
What are you going to do?
Are you going to up the fine? Like,
and it's obscure enough too, where people are like, "Is that it? What's he doing? Is that?" It's not as immediate. Like, oh, guns. People are like, "Is that a grenade?" I mean, 10 out of 10. Great. No notes.
And the covering of the ears was
so
great.
Good.
Like,
so good. Really, like, I don't know whoever's jaw, the creative brain behind that move for Ja.
Oh, I think it's all Ja.
Really,
John Petty.
Really good.
That's all he's thought about. It's like, what can I do now?
No notes.
And props. I was going to be really upset if he did the finger guns thing again, only because it's like you're just continuing to make it a story.
Yes.
And it's obviously as unfair as it is. It's up to Ja to squash it at this point. So I was going to be really frustrated if he kept advancing that finger gun story. So to bring out a grenade is like, okay, we're bringing grenades to gunfights now. I like our odds.
Squashed. He blew it up. Love it. You know who else doesn't have, man, this was a bad transition on my part. I was going to say Westerns don't have grenades. We're going to draft stuff because it's Wednesday. It's draft day, not the movie. Draft day, not the movie. And so this was a fun little, I was struggling what to draft. And then I was like, let's do Val Kilmer movies in honor of Val Kilmer. And then I started looking and I was like, that might be hard because
his whole shtick is that he was the best supporting actor and not the lead man.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to draft Val Kilmer movies.
Yes. I started looking. I was like, man, this is a lot harder than I realized.
I was okay, if I can't get both Top Gun movies, I'm in trouble.
I literally, in my head, I was planning my draft strategy around you wanting both Top Gun movies and drafting around that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't fair. So instead of Val Kilmer movies, we're doing Westerns because everybody likes Westerns, and there's a buttload of Westerns. I mean, good Lord, a ton of them. You can go first. I don't have a coin handy. I don't even want to try to flip anything, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. There was a couple that I really liked off the start, but I'm going to play the game a little bit and try to surprise you later. So there is an obvious 101. I would have taken it in both categories if we were doing Val Kilmer or Westerns. Yep. It's the greatest Western of all time. It's Tombstone.
Yep.
Kurt Russell. Val Kilmer, I mean, it's just the greatest Western of all time.
I agree with you. I almost didn't want to flip a coin because whoever got the first pick was going to pick this.
You should have flipped the coin then. You should have given yourself the odds.
Well,
at least some odds, because there was a 0% chance Tombstone was getting past me if I had the first pick.
Man, Tombstone holds up. That's the crazy thing about Tombstone is it's still really good. Some Westerns get kind of slow, but like Tombstone, you watch now and you're like, man, this is good. Pretty good.
Solid movie. Good
mustaches all around. I don't know.
All around.
I'll
be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry. I can't. He does more like Foghorn Leghorn. I really like it. I will go next. I'm going to take Unforgiven. With Clint Eastwood. It's really violent, and I love Gene Hackman. It's got one of my favorite lines of all when he goes, "Deserve's got nothing to do with it," and just blows him in the head. He goes, "I don't deserve this. Deserve's got nothing to do with it." That's my Clint Eastwood. So I'm gonna take
Unforgiven. Like you're just chewing gravel while you're talking.
I don't know what's happening.
Are you going back to back?
Let's do back to back. We'll do 3.
Okay.
Wait, not back to back.
Well, flip flop. Okay. When you said back to back, I thought you were going to get like a turn here. Yeah. All right. We're doing 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I will take the one I probably the most recent one that I like the most. Magnificent Seven.
Oh yeah.
Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt. I like that movie a lot. And arguably, if it weren't for Tombstone, the unanimous best Western of all time. Blazing Saddles. I love that movie so much. Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks is best. Step Aside, Spaceballs. It's great. Blazing Saddles is an absolutely hysterical movie.
And it stands up. It holds up. Up.
Where all the white women at?
Where all the white women at? I was waiting for something. I was like, can I say it? You could, where all the white women at?
There's so many jokes on there that we cannot say, but it's delivered in such a way that's funny for everybody. I mean, a black mayor in Western America, I mean, it sets itself up. Like, the premise is so ridiculous and just right for one-liners, which Mel Brooks is the best at.
He's the king, man. Put on the Riz. I can do it. Yeah. Yep. We can do. Man, we might just do a Mel Brooks draft because he's great. Okay, so God, man, we got a lot. The comments be hopping. So I'm going to take one of the comments. This is one of my favorites. Actually, no. I'm going to bank that one of these is still going to be there and just hope that you don't guess it.
Well, I mean, we're only taking 3, right? I've already got my 3.
No. Oh, you're right. Okay, so so I got 2. Math, man. I'm gonna take 310 to Yuma because I love 310 to Yuma. Shout out King Leach, Russell Crowe, Christian Bale. Sad. Love it. But then with my last pick, I'm gonna take we can't take John Wayne hasn't been taken yet. I feel like we have to take John Wayne, Pilgrim. I'm not gonna take True Grit, neither of the True Grits, even though I love True Grit. I'm gonna take El Dorado, which that's just a personal favorite. I don't know. It's not that. I don't know if you've seen. It's not great.
I don't know that I've seen that one, but
it's got James Caan in it, and he's got a big old knife.
I love James Caan. Yeah,
it's young James Caan, really young, and he's like the young.
So pre-Elf James Caan, what everybody knows him for. His buddy's dad.
Don't talk about my kid that way, man. Shoot, you got me off the rails with this Elf. I love Elf. Oh gosh, so let's do our recap. Our picks. I had Unforgiven, I had 310 to Yuma, and I had El Dorado. What did you have?
And I had Tombstone, I had Magnificent Seven, and I had Blazing Saddles.
You win because the Blazing Saddles pick. I dropped the ball. You win. I'm sorry.
My guy Key Meeks says I win by a landslide, which means and me and him are of different shades. And so if he's good with it, I'm good with it.
That's gonna do it for our show today. You got me. Thank you for watching this show, guys. We want to know where all the white women at. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Hell or High Water, man.
It was on my list. It was number 4.
Yep.
It's great
Hell or
movie.
High Water. Yep. That movie's killer. Jeff Bridges in a lot of these. Man, gosh, I said 3 picks. We should have done 5. I dropped the ball, but that's going to do it for our show today. We will be back tomorrow to talk about the Grizzlies playing the T-Wolves. Is that tomorrow? Oh, my God.
Late tomorrow, 8:30 local time in Memphis at 8:30.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Have a good day today, y'all. Thanks for watching the show. If we can leave y'all with anything, like we normally do, remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little bit weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. Oh, my God. Have a good one, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow.